Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Northside Plow with Pop.1 Podcast, coming to you guys and talking about our newest sponsors, Dueling Guard. Yes, Dueling Guard, your one-stop shop for all your TCG accessories. They got the deck boxes, the play mats, the binders, and soon to come, card sleeves. Yes, they're doing it all, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, the quality of this stuff is out of this world. I really advise you guys to go check them out, and if you want to pick something up for your friends for the holidays, at checkout, make sure you use code POP1 for your 5% discount. That's code POP1, P-O-P, and the number 1. You get 5% off, and I'm going to tell you guys, walking around with this stuff, you're going to be the top of your locals. You're going to be the top of these big tournaments. You're going to really look nice. I'm looking at all this stuff. They just dropped their new 3 Captains Anime Art Cards Playmat and Deck Box combo. You want to go get that before it sells out. It is insane. Your favorite pirates on your favorite deck box. Gotta love it. Use code POP1 for your discount. That's again duelingguard.com. Very cool people. Down to earth owners too. Got to sit down and talk on the phone with those guys. I got a feeling this is going to be a really good journey. So you guys go check them out. Let's get back into the podcast.
Competitive players have different goals and aspirations during different times of their Yu-Gi-Oh career. For most competitive players, their goal is to hear their name called at the end of a top cut for a Yu-Gi-Oh Championship Series, otherwise known as a YCS. The reason why that's such a goal for so many competitive players is because it is a culmination of hours upon hours of hard work, theory, testing, and preparing for an event. You have to play better than 99% of the room in a YCS where there could be 2,000 to 3,000 players, and doing so for 2 whole days. One of my favorite things about this game is the fact that anyone can one day walk into a local OTS store, see a bunch of people playing this game that we all love, and decide to learn to play the game and enter their first tournament. Most of the time they buy 3 structure decks, compile the deck together, enter a tournament, and get destroyed. Even though that player loses that game, they still get a passion, a fire ignited inside of them that allows them to want to become better at this game, to become the best version of a player of Yu-Gi-Oh that they can possibly be. They've spent years, months, hours upon hours every single week becoming the best that they can be. But what happens when that player doesn't achieve the goals that they set themselves to make? Do they give up? Do they quit? Do they self-reflect and think there's something that they can improve on with their personal gameplay? Whether that's technical gameplay, tournament fatigue, or even they just have a bad poker face. The ability to self-assess is imperative into becoming a top-level player. Today we have a very special guest. We have a player who, just a few short years ago, did not get the results at events that he wanted. So he decided to invest in himself. He got coaching, he surrounded himself with the right players, and slowly but surely, he became an incredible player, a great player. He started topping a bunch of case tournaments, a bunch of regionals, and eventually he got signed on by one of the most prestigious teams in the entire nation, Pandamonium Gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard of this person before, I promise you, you want to start paying attention to his career, because by the end of 2024, you're going to be hearing his name a lot. Let's all welcome Mr. J. Watkins.
Yo, what's good, guys?
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are y'all?
And we're doing great. I really appreciate you coming through, joining the podcast today. So let's just get started, dude. Tell us, why Yu-Gi-Oh?
Hey, listen, before we get started, that was a nice intro. I can't lie. The intro was fire.
Thank you.
You
I may or may not rehearse it.
You was hyping me up a little bit. I was like, whoa, I'm not all in.
No, you definitely are. You definitely are.
But why Yu-Gi-Oh?
What got you into Yu-Gi-Oh?
I actually used to play when I was younger. When I was like a kid around like elementary school, I used to play a little bit, or I just had like cards or whatever.
Did you do the like the playground duels?
Yeah, I did those. We also went to Me and some of my friends used to go to Books a Million like on
Mhm.
Saturday mornings and play or whatever. But that was just like my introduction to it. I didn't really know too much about it. As far as like outside of just me and my friends going to the bookstore or whatever. Um, but when I got to junior high, I think when I got to eighth grade is when I just kind of like not play or stop playing and just didn't bother with it. I started to play like sports, basketball and stuff, and I just didn't have any time. Wasn't really interest interesting for me anymore. So I kind of just stopped around eighth grade, I would say.
Yeah, it seems to be a time that a lot of players stop playing whenever they're in the eighth grade. They think, man, I want these girls to be attracted to me. I need to not seem like a little nerd.
Facts. That's facts.
I know
That's
for sure that's
facts.
definitely happened with me around that time. So were you like, I know you said you were playing on the playground. Were you like at all competitive? Like, did you have a local scene you were going to or anything like that?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
Like the bookstore that we went to was like maybe 25, 30 minutes from where I live. And we could only go on Saturdays, so it wasn't like anything competitive. I didn't even know there was a competitive scene at the time, to be honest. Like I just thought it was just a bunch of kids like just playing or whatever, trading, playing, things like that. But I wasn't aware of like tournaments and things like that. Like they didn't necessarily host anything. So um I didn't know anything about it.
So the bookstore was essentially your local scene.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Locals with like less structure, I guess. It was just like where a bunch of the kids met up uh that kind of traded and played the game.
Yeah. So you got out the game after junior high. When did you get back into it?
Oh, bro. Funny enough, I didn't like get back into it until like I s- when I moved to Baton Rouge like around 2014 and I still wasn't into it. Like I wasn't even thinking about it until like 2019, late 2019. Um is when I just randomly I don't know what made me even think about it, but I just randomly wanted to get back into it. So, I looked up if there were any car shops around in the area and then I saw the road games. Uh so I started going there. Um and bro, like my first day there, it was like so overwhelming. I was like, dog, I'm not coming back. Cause I didn't know what was going on. Like I missed the whole like links, synchros, none of that. Like I didn't know they was playing with these link monsters, and I was like, dog, what the fuck is like what is this? Like
It's
I
fun.
literally had to start from scratch basically.
It's funny you say that. I actually I got back in around 2018, 2019. I saw the links, and I remember. So I came back. I played ABC structure decks because I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm kind of familiar with what these cards do. And I remember I tried summoning two fusion monsters, and my opponent was like, you can't do that. I was like, why? He's like, you gotta have a link arrow to point it to. I was like, what's a link arrow?
Yeah, bro. That's like they were throwing like so much information at me, and I was like, dog, like slow down a little bit.
That was a great regional that they ran. You were talking a lot about the row games and kind of like the community they have there. Tell me, what's the local scene like there?
The road games is fun. Like they'll all like I always enjoy going. Like I'll never uh not enjoy spending time there because that was like the first. I guess that was my reintroduction to the game, and all of the guys there are real cool. Everybody's real friendly. Um, and when I first got there, Derek and some more of the guys were helping me out, giving me cards and stuff. But I still wasn't like comfortable enough to actually play. Like it took me a while to actually enter a tournament, to be honest. Um,
Talking like a local tournament, or
yeah, like a local tournament.
so you
And
would just show
when
up there and kind of like just play for fun?
yeah, yeah, I would show up, probably play a little for fun, but mainly just watch. because I didn't really know, where to get started as far as like how to play.
Yeah.
Um, but as time went on, like I started to enter them, but I just would never win. So I was like, dog, I'm just about to quit. Like it was a time where I was like, no, I'm not. I can't do it.
Why didn't you quit?
Um, I just really like outside of me not being able to like win, I did enjoy just being there hanging out with the fellas and stuff. So
Yeah.
it became that became like the attraction for me more so than actually playing the game. I just liked the guys that were there, just became friends and stuff like that. So that kept me coming back and you know me coming back more was obviously I'm gonna learn more as more the more I go. So,
Absolutely. What decks were you playing around that time as you like started to come back more and more?
uh, I played the first time that I entered a tournament. I think I played zombies. That was around the time where the zombie structure deck was out or whatever, right? So
Hmm.
I had got three of those. So that's what I was playing, and then at first and eventually, like the more comfortable I got, I was like, dog, I need to get like a better deck or something. And funny, they told me to try True Draco, right? And so I actually got the True Draco deck, right? So I ordered the whole deck off eBay, and I got it, and I actually went X1 with it and didn't realize like how toxic it was until people told me about it. um, so that was like my first bit of like local success was with it.
True Draco, huh?
It was True Draco. It was actually pretty funny. Uh, it was maybe another deck in between, but I can't really remember. I just remember the True Draco deck because the more I was getting comfortable with it,
Yeah.
was this was like late 2019, right? So the ban list came out in the January 2020 ban list, right? I haven't even had the deck for like more than a month, maybe 2 months. And remember that ban list was like huge, right? It had like Carter Demise to one, they
Mhm.
hit diagram, like they just hit a bunch of shit, right? And I was like, dog, wait, what is a ban list? I didn't even know what a ban list was. That was like my first experience with it. I was like, dog, I just got this deck. Like, what the fuck is going on? And so they had to explain it to me. I was like, man, this game sucked. Like, I'm gonna just get a deck and then it just get like the cards are just unplayable, really. So I was kind of upset about that. But that was like my first taste of like a ban list. That shit was kind of crazy.
Yeah, first like taste of like local success. I think it's funny you talk to a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players, and a lot of them, myself included, your first like successful deck because it simplifies the game state so much as playing those control decks. For me, it was Ultra Dice.
Yeah, I played guys too. Like
Did you?
after that ban list was where I just wanted to learn as much as I could about the game because I was like, dog, I didn't even know it was a ban list. I didn't know this shit came out like every 3 months, 3 to 5 or so months. So like I started to just kind of try to learn as much as I can after that. So I just started playing like hella different decks. Like a lot of different decks. I played Alter Guys. There was a time where I played Necros. Like I was just playing just random stuff to try to like
Yeah.
just learn as much as I can.
Did you find that you were developing like a certain play style or a preference of decks, so to say?
I wasn't really aware of I wasn't really aware of it to be honest. Like I didn't know it was still so much I didn't know. Cause like you can play the game, but you don't really pick up on things, right? You're just kind of playing a deck that's kind of simple in the beginning. Um, but you're not really aware of like a particular play style. Like you don't really know what to call it.
Right.
Because the guys that were helping me like they'll just help me with like rulings and like what cars do and things like that. But it's like there was a technical play type thing that was missing. Like most of the people at the locals were just kind of like casual or whatever. So
And
it was still a lot that I didn't know.
now I can say that those guys are pretty competitive. Every time I go there, I don't see a meta deck ever.
Look, it used to not be like that. Um, when I first got there, it used to not be like that, but like now it's like more more so competitive than
Yeah,
it used to be. This is a good thing, I guess. You know, there's still some guys that are like casual that'll just play what they like, which is cool. So it's a little bit of good of a mix, a little more meta now, but
yeah.
it'll still be those casual guys there. Like it's a pretty cool look.
Yeah. I like all those guys. I don't think I've ever had a bad experience there, which is great because there are some locals you go to, or even like case tournaments, and you see like their local scene, hell, even regionals, you go to, and you're like, man, you're pretty toxic. I don't want to play against you.
Nah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I've been around some some toxic
Yeah,
people at locals before.
absolutely. So that's like your early stages of your career. Tell me, like, now we're going to 2020, 2021, 2022. The pandemic happens. I'm sure that had a lot of impact on your playing style and your development as a player. When did you really start like developing into the player that you are today?
Um, yeah, like not being able to go to locals was like a um that was kind of hard because I was just
Yeah.
kind of like getting into learning more about the game, but I think that indirectly that kind of helped me because I had a lot of time. Because I started working from home, so I just had like hella time to like look, research, look through things, and like we could like fast forward through the pandemic to where we were going back to locals. I
Hmm.
was a little more comfortable. Um, but it was just still like something missing. Like I just kind of felt like I hit a wall or something.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of getting frustrating a little bit. So it's around the time where, and this is like 2022, where
Yeah. Around there.
the road games announced their first case tournament that they
Mhm.
had ever done. Right, I want to say this was like February 2022, something like that. Right, so but they announced it a couple months or a month prior. Um, so I was like, dog, I need to get ready for this. And because I had happened to during my like research and videos and stuff, I came across Peck's channel or whatever, and I just started watching his streams and stuff, and I was just learning a lot just from watching and hear him talk about the game. Uh, and it was kind of like relatable because he started around the same time that I did, like 2019, 2020, something like that. But he became more competitive at a quicker pace than me. Like I didn't even really know about a competitive scene until really I saw his channel or whatever. So that was like my first introduction to it, as far as like, oh, this is like a whole nother community of players.
It was kind of like opening your eyes to seeing your true potential, huh?
Yeah, and I had like just randomly hit him up to like coach me for the case tournament.
Yeah.
Um like he's cool. Like mind you, I don't know. I at the time I didn't know nothing about him. Never met him. But he was cool about it, and we picked a day and a time. Uh, and we went over it. At this particular time. He was um coaching me on prank kids, right? So
Mhm.
we get on the call or whatever. Like the first 30 or so minutes, we didn't even really talk about Yu-Gi-Oh. We were just talking. Uh just like what I did for work, what he did for work, like this. It was like a natural conversation. Uh, like we didn't even get to actual talk to about the game until later in the session. So that's how we became friends, was just through that. Um, so he ended up coaching me for that, and I felt like super prepared for that case tournament. So I felt good going into it.
How did you perform at that case tournament?
So that particular case tournament, I forget how many Swiss rounds it was, but in total, including top cut, it was 9 rounds. I ended up winning the whole thing. Um, I think maybe I had 2 matches that went to game 3, and both of them were with Heisem. Um, and that's when I first met Heisem.
Your now
So
teammate Hudson Jawari.
yeah, so I played Heisem the last round of Swiss and beat him in game 3, and then we played in the finals and I beat him in game 3. Um,
That's awesome.
so yeah, that was the first time we met, and I guess that kind of caught uh his attention or whatever, and or him and Pack's attention, and they invited me to go with them to Connecticut to play in this tournament called the Goofy Gauntlet tournament.
Okay.
Um, it was a cash tournament or whatever, and but it was in Connecticut, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to this. Right in my mind, I was saying that when he asked me to go. Um, but the more me and Heisman talked, I mean, they made me comfortable enough to like. I was like, all right, I'll try it. Like, fuck it, why not? Um, so I ended up going. Like, that was the first time I traveled like on my own, let alone on my own to like play in a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
Yeah.
So that was
That
a
was your
fun.
that was your
Mhm.
first taste of traveling.
Yep,
Shortly after that was before the Pop.1 1K, correct?
yep, that was before.
Yeah. So you come back, you're playing prank kids. You show up to the 1K. I don't think we spoke that day. That was my first time meeting you. I didn't play you or
Yeah,
nothing, but you just you just did your thing.
though
You legitimately
I wouldn't even would have even went to that if I didn't, because I topped the Goofy Gauntlet tournament, and it just gave me
yeah,
like confidence to where I was like, oh, like shit, I could really like
do
play if I
something.
kind of put some time into it. Because it was like a lot of good players that they like. It was obviously it was Pack Heisman, Honey was there, Polly was there. Polly had just won the remote YCS too, so he was there. It was a bunch of people there. I ended up topping it, but I lost in top 16. But it was like it was a lot of fun. It just showed me that if I can put a little more time into it, I could probably, have a little more success. So fast forward to y'all's tournament, which was funny.
You beat some big names because we have some big names, in the South Louisiana, South Mississippi market. Trevor Comer being one of them. Do you remember who you played in the finals of that tournament?
Yeah, I played Trevor in the final.
Yeah, funny enough. Funny enough. Yeah, I bet that was a really hard game for you, huh?
Yeah, no, Trevor's really good, bro. Like
Yeah,
he's also really nice. Like it's like comfortable playing against him. Like he
yeah,
doesn't. It's like not as stressful because he's like he makes you feel comfortable, being on the other side or whatever. Like he's not like an a-hole like some people are. Like you kind of have to ignore that. But no, he's really good. He's really good.
I like that
Yeah,
when you play against someone who's like definitely better than you, but they're nice about it at least.
yeah, right. So that tournament was like the first. I think that was the first tournament that Brandon was like legal, right?
Yeah, I played Brandon Eldridge for that tournament, and yeah, I was having some fun with that deck that day. I made top 8 myself.
Yeah. So everybody was playing Brandon, and I still felt like Prank Kids was like the best deck. Like this was, I think, before that, Pack had won the YCS with Prank Kids, and it kind of evolved into something once the right engine came out. So
Yeah,
um, I just still felt like it was better. But I know Brandon was like the new toy or whatever, and it was like everybody thought it was like the greatest at the time, which it was good at the time. Like I can't lie, but um, I was just more comfortable with prank kids, and uh, Pack actually helped me with that, with some changes to the deck, to help me for that tournament too. So
You got a couple coaching sessions from Pack, and he like helped you like elevate to a really, really like next level.
yeah, so like the first one was like um more like an actual, I guess you would say, coaching session.
Yeah,
Um, but like after that, I didn't necessarily have to ask him for coaching. Like we exchanged numbers and everything. Um, and like we became cool. So it was a thing where I would just hit him up, asking for his opinion or something like that. Um, like we would just randomly hit each other up. I ask him some questions, and he was great about answering them. Like he always helpful. Heisman's the same way. Uh, they're like really good guys in the community. So, um, if I have any ruling questions or if I need any cards or anything, um, I can always ask them,
yeah,
and they usually come through.
yeah. So shortly after this, you're topping all these events. I know you were getting looked at by a couple of teams, and then eventually, Pandamonium. They got you. How did that whole thing go? How they approach you? Like, what was that moment like?
Bro, I was like not really thinking about joining the team at all, to
Yeah.
be honest. This was so after that 1K is where I started like going to like my first YCSs and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so I did go to Hartford. I went to like three that year. And it was kind of like a reality check because like I started off really good, especially at the Hartford one because that was still prank kids. I think that was prank kids. Um, I started off like 4-0. Um, but then I lost round five to like this Cyber's Eldritch, the little Cypher block thing.
Yep.
So it just kind of went downhill from there. Like at that time, my problem was like trying to get past a loss. Like I
Hmm.
would just kind of dwell on it more than I should have. So that was
In your
something I was
feels.
still struggling with. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was still struggling with that at the time. But uh Pandemonium came, it was after nationals or at nationals where Vote asked me about it. And whenever we got back to Louisiana, we had like a call or whatever, to talk about everything. I was surprised because I was just like not thinking about that at all, to be honest.
Now you're with them, and like I said at the beginning, that's one of the best teams in the nation. They got some big name players. You got a YCS winner in Kobe Short. You got a multi YCS topper in Hyson Jawari. You also have Joe Gray, which he has what, two YCS tops?
I think so. I don't really. I think he does. Like I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure he does.
And the dude's like a
Um.
super genius. Like he's very
Yeah. Yeah.
talented.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Being
And I'll
being on
Joe.
the team, how has that elevated you to like the next level?
Um. I think that is beneficial because you have access to guys that are like wanting to play the game on a competitive level, so you can like bounce ideas off of and stuff. So
Yeah,
I think that's more so like the pros to it, because before it was just me, it was just myself, like
yeah,
um looking at videos or like I'm on DB, um just hella hours just doing like research and just playing DB or whatever. Like just trying to learn it on my own was kind of tough. But being on the team, like it makes it easier to have access to guys that have like been playing for a while.
yeah,
Um, so I mean, it's always helpful to like pick somebody's brain that's like been playing and has had success in the game.
yeah,
Um, and they're nice, man. They're really nice. It's like a family type environment. Like I don't have anything negative to say. Like made me feel welcome. So I always appreciate them for like taking a look at me and letting me on the team and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, it's been great. It's been great.
I love playing those guys. They have a shop in New Orleans. We get to go to case tournaments. They have an OTS this Saturday, which is super exciting. But yeah, playing against them, for the longest in this area, it's like, wow, those guys are like the best in the area. And playing against anyone with the Panda jersey, it's almost like an intimidation factor. Do you find when you wear that jersey, people are like a little intimidated playing against you?
And the funny thing about that was Anthony said he had noticed me a while ago,
Yeah.
before they approached me, because I was the only one that would come to their tournaments from my locals, really.
Hmm.
And I'm the only one from Baton Rouge that would really go on a consistent basis, and I would always top all of their tournaments or whatever. I would lead probably more times than not. I would be first after Swiss or something.
Yeah.
Um, and I'd have to play like some of their guys, and they had the jersey on or whatever. So it was definitely kind of like an intimidation factor, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. Like other people might not look at it that way, but it was for me because it was their shop. I was like, dog, like I just did not
Playing the
want to
best
play
players.
anybody with a jersey. Yeah, I was like, I do not want
Yeah.
to play. I
Plus, those
really didn't.
jerseys are
Yeah,
those
I
jerseys
really
are
didn't
really
want to
cool
play
looking.
Joe.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? Yeah.
yeah. No, the
Oh,
jerseys
I
are
remember the
cool.
first. I remember the first time I played him. That dude played masterfully. It was tier format. It was a mirror match, and I had him beat. Like I had the game, but he had the defense to where I just couldn't get over it in time. And I was just like, wow, you did. Like, this is why you're great at the game, and I got a lot to learn. That was the first time I ever played the man. I was like, man, that was. I
Yeah.
like left like I couldn't even be mad that I lost that game. I was like, that was just perfect. Like, what was I? I didn't see any of that coming.
Nah, Joe's really good, bro.
Yeah,
He yeah, I definitely didn't want to play him, but like after as time went on, like I finally got a win over him, and that was when I was like, okay, the I can see some of the work kind of paying off.
yeah,
Like more tournaments, I'm finishing like at the top table or making top 8 or something like that. Sometimes it would get frustrating because I finish first after Swiss, but then lose in top cut. So, um, but all of that was a learning experience. But
yeah.
yeah, being on a
Now
team
you,
is a big help, bro.
yeah, for sure. I could personally attest to that. With my team, it's helped me develop as a player too. So if anyone out there, if you find yourself with the option to get on a team, if you're trying to get to that level, go for it, 100%. Being on this team, one of the things that I think that I love about being on a team is traveling with everyone. What's traveling like with Team Pandemonium?
Um, Traveling is fun. Like I don't. I think that's like the best part of it to me. Um,
Yeah,
but the at first, like my first few YCSs, I was traveling on my own. Um, but I was staying with Heisen Pack and some of the luxury gaming guys. And shout out to those guys.
yeah,
They're really cool. Shout out to Dick. Like he looked out for me. Made me comfortable staying with guys that at first I didn't know, but we ended up developing some friendships there.
yeah.
Um, but traveling with my team now, like it's great. Like it's to me, and I probably most of the people in the community will say that's the best part of it. Is like being able to hang
Absolutely.
out with your friends and like kind of exploring the city or whatever. Going to different restaurants, just kicking it. That's like one of the main things you would look forward to be honest.
I asked Trey in the last episode, does he explore cities? He said he didn't do too much. What do y'all do? Like, for example, with us, we go to the cities a day early, we explore, we have fun, and then the day of, we register, then we explore the city some more. What do y'all like to do?
We usually just have like or try to get the team together to like go to dinner or something.
Hmm.
At a pretty good restaurant somewhere. That's really what we mainly do because most people that are there kind of like have their different, their other friends that they hang with or they haven't seen in a while. So usually it's me and Heisem hanging, with the guys that we're cool with. Um, Anthony and them hang up with the guys that they're cool with. Uh, but Anthony will end up picking a day for everybody to meet up to have like a team dinner or whatever. So that's really fun too. Um, but it being like such a short-ish weekend, you
Yeah,
kind of like want to try to see as like most of your close friends as you can, because it's
absolutely.
usually a big. Sometimes it'll be a while. Um, but yeah, that's usually what we do as far as like Anthony will set it up to where he'll tell us where to meet up and everything. So
I want to touch back on kind of like what you were talking about before, how you said you were on Dueling Book a lot, doing things on your own. Nowadays, how do you like prepare for a YCS regional level event?
um, bro, to be honest with you, I probably spend too much time like watching just videos and watching matches and like trying to
Mhm.
play matches on DB. Like that's usually what I do. Like I would say maybe 2 weeks before the event is where I kind of really try to dial in or whatever. And then try to pick some guys' brains about some things. Um, try out some different cards in the deck or whatever. So I would take probably 2 weeks prior to it, or maybe a week and a half, and kind of just dig deep. Um, so if I'm not on DB playing, I'm just on DB watching matches.
Yeah,
Like spectating matches and just seeing. Like for me, that's kind of how I can see like technical plays and things like that. Um, I think after I had got the first coaching um from Pack is where it introduced me to like technical play. Um, because I really wasn't aware. Like I was just playing. But the more you watch, like the more matches you watch, I think you'll start catching on to some things.
sure.
Um, and if it's certain things that you're unsure about, like I always ask hella questions. So that's kind of like how I prepare. Is like I'm watching matches or I'm catching some deck profiles from previous events to see kind of what meta trends are. And then Heisem will hit me up, and then we'll kind of like deep dive into it. Maybe like 3 or 4 days before Heisem will talk to me about what deck to play or particular cards to put in the deck.
So you were saying before you didn't like know when you first started like what play styles really was.
hmm
What would you say is kind of your play style nowadays?
Um, gosh, I that's a hard question.
I
I
know
don't think.
you're early now, right?
Yeah, I've been playing Pearly for a while now. I would say this. Because I've played like I played a lot of different decks. I played control. I played mid range decks. I played combo decks because I played Drytron before. It's the I think I kind of shy away from like super combo decks. Um, I don't really like enjoy like a real in-depth combo deck. So I'll say that. Like I'll probably stick to something that's more mid-rangey. Um, but I rarely would go like full control. Like I don't like before when I was playing like trap decks and stuff, but I probably won't go back to that. Unless it's like Labyrinth or something, but not the trap heavy Labyrinth.
Like the
So
furniture lab. So definitely no tier limits for you then.
I I yeah, I just don't enjoy like the super combo decks. I probably like Vanadium. I probably would never play it.
Same.
Um, it's just I don't know. It just doesn't fit me if that makes sense. Um, but like more mid range decks. I think I'm probably more favorite to, but
I'm, I'm definitely
um,
with you there. I don't like heavy combo decks either. I feel like you know, I don't want to say like it's a hindrance as a player being playing, you know, super heavy combo decks, because the reality is you make one wrong move and your whole turn can really end. It's like, oh darn, I messed up the combo. That's why like
mhm.
mid range combo decks is like there's still a line, there's still a complicated line, but it's not
Yeah,
as complicated as it has to be.
you're right, right. So like, yeah, like Infernova, for example. Like, I
Hmm.
like the deck. It's a good deck.
Cool deck
I don't know if I would necessarily play it. It something like that just takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time.
for sure.
Um, to like master the combo or whatever, to memorize the different lines. Um, so yeah, I kind of just shy away from it. But like as far as for like YCSs and like regionals or whatever, I tend to not want to play what's considered like the best deck.
Mhm.
And I kind of got that from Pat because he wants to play a deck that's a good call for the event, right? Um, so I'm kind of picked it up, and I like that because it's like if you make a call on the deck, and if it's the right call, you can have like a really good tournament. Um, so as opposed to like playing a deck that a lot of people are prepared for, because I never played Cash, and Cash was like the best deck for a long time. I just was not comfortable with playing it because there was so much hate. People had so much card hate for it, and I just didn't think I would get lucky enough to like be really successful with it because I think it took like some luck when you played Cash, to be honest.
It did. I played Castier for the 250th YCS, and I bricked 4 out of 4 rounds. It was awful, and I did win a case tournament with that deck, which was really cool. That's about the highest accolade I could say with that deck. I was super
Yeah.
grateful when Vanquish Soul came out because it was a good meta call against Castier, because I hated that deck. It's like you had to have the perfect hand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like there was another thing. Like I want to play a deck that's is consistent. Like that's really consistent because consistency makes me feel comfortable when I play.
Hmm.
Um, so I didn't want a deck like I don't want to play a deck that has the potential to like brick a lot.
Yeah,
Um, because I don't feel like I'm at a point where I'm that good to where like I'll like win a game because I mean win a game despite the hand being like just really really bad.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I try to just tend to play a deck that's a good call for an event or play a deck that's like really consistent, that's as close to meta. Um, the 250 of those kind of weird. I'm kind of mad about that because I played Drytron in which I thought it was an okay call because I was maining Curry Car and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I made that was my first time making day two was the 250th. Um,
Hmm. I remember. Yeah,
and
VIP for that event, right?
yeah, I won the VIP with Drytron, and that was like the main reason why I took it. But in hindsight, I wish I would have took Runic Materia, to be honest. Um,
Yeah, that deck was crazy during that time.
yeah, but it was fun though. Like I had fun. The Drytron did what it was supposed to do. I guess it got me to day two for the first time, so that was pretty cool.
So in 2023, how many premier events did you go to?
2020. So this year I went
This
to
year, yeah.
um where did I go this year? What was over the summer? Did we have like
I
Nat?
saw yeah, I
We
saw
had
you at Nationals. I saw you at Indianapolis, and I saw you at Los Angeles.
yeah, 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 yeah. So I did go to I went to Nationals. Nationals I played Runic, Live Twin Sprite, made day two with that. Um
Yep.
Indy I played what did I play for Indy?
Really?
Was it Pearly? Yeah, it was
Oh,
Pearly. It was
yeah, that's
Pearly.
pretty
It was
recent.
Pearly. It was Pearly because after Indy was Richmond, right?
Yep,
Yeah, so I did play Pearly.
it's great.
Yeah, Indy was supposed to be the one for me. Like I felt really, really good about that deck too. It was just a couple of misplays here and there, and that was another thing I learned about the game. Like a mistake here and there could like really like prevent you from advancing to where you want to advance to.
Trust me, you're preaching to the choir. I practiced for I don't know how long for Indianapolis. I really thought at bare minimum I would get day two. I saw you there. We were like 3 chairs down from each other at the ninth round. We both lost that round,
Hmm.
and I was just like, man, this is so unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it happens. Like I've
Yeah,
gotten to a point where I don't linger on it too
for
much.
sure.
Like I do make a list of like my rounds and my matches and things like that, so I can go back and look and kind of remember how the games go. Um, so that's one thing about me. I can remember specific games and specific scenarios that I'm in. So I try to just learn from that. Um, so because at first I used to just really get upset about it, and it I would just linger on it. So, but now I kind of like a loss. It happens. Did did I lose because of me, or did you just lose the
Smart, yeah.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that you say that because that's truly like a development that a lot of players listening can really relate to is that you lose a game, you lose a match, you just get so tilted, you get so mad, and you don't perform well for the rest of the day. You got to get
yep,
over that. Once you start getting over that, you can shake it off. Uh, look at Elijah Green. It was Nationals 2 years ago. He lost the first 2 matches, one out, and then made top four. Like,
yeah.
you just
He was
can't.
playing Morenses, right?
He was playing Morenses.
Yeah,
Crazy. I hate that
yeah.
deck. Let me tell you,
Yeah, I
deck is
remember that.
awful. Oh, at the last regional that we were both at in Mendenhall, round two, I play against Marincess, and the main decks goes a match. I'm like, well, I guess I just lose. What am I supposed to do?
Oh, this past one.
Yeah, this past one it was at Aaron.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
Yeah,
Dog,
he
this
main decked it both of them.
I don't even want to talk about this past one because uh,
You played
so
against Danny, and Danny did Danny
dog,
things.
so listen, I lost round one to Lab, right?
Yep, pretty
But
good guy.
you know,
Pretty good at the
yeah.
game.
So I'm like, all right, cool. I lose round one, but I end up like winning every round up until I played Danny in round. What was it? 8. Yeah. So I just did not expect him to play Runic Stun. Like that was just so unfortunate. Cause
Yeah,
I was like on fire. Like I was just smelling the top four like right then. I was like, all right, I'm about to top another one. But uh yeah, I just didn't have anything like I lost the die roll, so I'm definitely losing game one. Um and then game two, like I was able to put a little board or whatever, but he lava golem me twice. So yeah. So like that was like the first time in a while I was kind of like mad mad about a match because I was like, dog, I didn't really get to play to be honest. But I mean,
yeah.
it is what it is. People play those type of decks sometimes. So you know,
Yeah, he went in not expecting to do well, and then he went finished X1-1 and got top four. I was like, yeah, I was
yeah,
so mad.
yeah.
I was so
Basically,
mad.
he replaced me for top four. To be honest,
You didn't get top 16
uh,
though. That's what's crazy.
no, I left. I left after that.
They did.
Yeah, I didn't even play round 9 because I was like, I didn't. I already got an invite, so
Okay,
I was.
just
Yeah,
didn't.
I was only coming. I was only coming to either try to win the regional or at least top 8. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, you know what? There's gonna be more regionals. Hopefully, Louisiana, Mississippi get some more regionals in the next season. We got the one. We could use some more. Um, what are your goals for 2024?
Goal. Really, like I only really have one goal to be honest. Like when I first started playing competitive, I started off small with like I want to win a case tournament, and I did that a few times. I went from that to like wanting to get an invite to nationals to top eight a regional.
Mhm.
So I did that a couple of times. I almost won the Baton Rouge one. It's like I finished second.
Yep, Trevor again, huh?
Um, I didn't play him. Uh,
You did?
I ended, no, yeah, I didn't play him. Funny enough, I was like building the deck to like, cause I knew he was playing cash. Like I was building the deck to beat Trevor, but I didn't get to play him. I lost to a guy that was playing cash. Um, and it was like a mismanaged of resources is the reason why I lost that one.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I didn't get to play him that time. I think we played at the Ridgeland Regional. We drew. We played at the at some case or OTS or something like that. But yeah, I didn't play him in the Baton Rouge Regional.
Thought you did. Memory phase. So what is your goal then?
I just I just want to top of YCS.
That's
That's
it.
really it. That's really it. That's really it. Like I feel like I haven't thought about winning it. I just need to get to the point where I'm topping it, and then at that point, like anything could happen. Um, so that's really my only goal, to be honest. Is at some point I want to say I topped the YCS to like prove to myself that I can do it. Um, and it's to a point where I'm spending probably too much time on the game, to be honest. Cause like I'm at work, also on DB and like looking at matches, looking at videos. Like you'd be surprised, bro, at how much time that I like put in, on my own. Um, but that's how bad I want to like achieve this particular goal. Cause
Yeah.
I don't really know how much longer I'm going to actually play, if I'm being really honest. I got
In
a full
life.
time job as well. Yeah, like I'm in corporate America. Um, so it's like it's really hard, and I'm married. So um, I I'm okay if I stop playing and it doesn't happen. Um, but I'm kind of just focused on trying to achieve it while you know still in the groove of playing.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm not gonna play too much longer. To be real with you.
Yeah.
But you know, hopefully 2024 is the year. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I just
And
it's it's hard because I like dog. I'm like up like hella late every night, dude. Like you wouldn't even believe. Like I have to get up for work at like 7 a.m. Right? I
sheesh.
would I would just be going to sleep at almost 3, like playing matches or watching matches or some Yu-Gi-Oh related. Like I'm up late, like on a nightly basis, pretty much.
So you get that top. I that's a level of grind that, I don't think it's talked about enough to truly be better than what you are, quite frankly. You have to put in that work. You have to put in that dedication. You have to put in that practice. And I don't think that gets appreciated enough for these players like the Hanis, the Hisums, the Jessies, the Packs. Like
Yeah.
they're just
Mm,
like you. Like they have full time things they got going on.
yep.
And they had to put in the same amount of effort just
So
to
I
get
was,
what they need to get.
yeah, I told Peck a while ago. I was like, Dog, I don't know how you do it. Like, not only does he, like, he works in corporate America too, but he streams. Like, he
Hmm.
streams, he puts out content, he works, and then he travels to almost every event or whatever. Now, granted, like he ain't married or anything, or don't have any kids, or so it was a little easier in that aspect. But he's still like he's working full time. He's putting out content. He's streaming, like, and he's traveling. Like that's a lot, and he has to find time to like practice and things like that. Iceman's the same way. Uh, Hani, like the Hani's like a real inspiration. Like low key is a real inspiration to be honest. Like I think Hani's like top tier is like one of the better guys in the community. Like he's so nice, but so competitive at the same time. Like he's willing to help anybody. Like he'll help you. Like, but you can still see how competitive he is. So
Yeah, I actually
it's
rode with them to a regional Mendenhall. I want to say last year, and
yeah.
we were just talking like theory like the whole time. The dude's like
Yeah.
incredibly
No, it's
talented.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I had gotten to a point where like I spend as much time as I do on it because I'm was so far behind because I don't have like the car knowledge that a lot of people have or the experience or whatever. So I had to really like put in time to kind of like play catch up. Like I still feel like I'm doing that to be honest.
Yeah, kind of hard to do that because there's 25 years of history of this game, and we got
Yeah,
into it in 2019, which, like you said, we're playing catch up. Meanwhile, it feels like Konami's releasing a new set every 2 weeks.
yeah, yeah. No, it's crazy.
So you said you're married. Didn't you just have an anniversary recently?
Yeah, I had our anniversary was September the 5th. Yep.
Okay, that's awesome,
Yep.
man. How many years you been married for?
We've been married since 2015. What was it, eight
Jesus.
years? Yeah.
Yeah, that's 8 years, bro. It feel real still?
Ah, bro, it don't feel like it's been 8 years to be honest. Like
Yeah.
the people I like met traveling, like nobody believed I'm 34.
Are you 34?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I had no idea.
No, people still don't believe that. Charlie will just never believe that I'm 34. That's funny. Shout out to Charlie.
We're just getting
But
old, man. I turn 30 next year. It's crazy.
oh, so you just about to turn 30. That's funny.
I'm just about in April.
It was
You
no
got any
different for
kids?
me. No, no kids, no kids,
No
no
kids, no
kids.
kids. What do you do
Um,
outside of Yu-Gi-Oh? Do you still play basketball and whatnot?
not as much. Um, like when I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I was playing more basketball than I was Yu-Gi-Oh, but it
Mhm.
kind of like reversed as time went on.
Yeah,
Um, because I don't have the time to do both, so I had to pick one. um, but I try to like play here and there, but nah, not really.
one of my favorite things about you for sure is your shoe game. Um, every time I see you, you're just rocking heat. And my favorite is like when we match, unintentionally. I'm like, hey man, one of us has to go home and change.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I love when that happens. I still need to get me some lost and founds that you have. Those are hard to come
Oh
by.
yeah, that's dog. Listen, I used to when I was in college. I used to be big into shoes.
Mhm.
But like becoming like a real adult, it was like, nah, I'm not gonna just because I was just buying the shoes just to have them, and not
Yeah,
even wear them shits, right? So,
yeah.
but when you get to adult life with like bills and shit, you're like, nah, if I'm gonna buy the shoes, I'm gonna just wear them like fuck it, and I'm not gonna
That's
just
how
buy just because,
I'll wear my shoes out, and some people are like, dude, you have creases in them. I'm like, yeah, because I actually wear them. Like,
Yeah, yeah, I'm not even
I
worried
feel like
about that.
that's what's being a real sneakerhead is about is actually wearing your shoes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, it means different things for different people.
For sure, for sure.
I just got out of the phase of just getting them just because something's coming out. Like I would only get something that I really want. So
Yeah.
and I'm actually wear.
You definitely did you buy your Panda Dunks the second you got signed by Team Panda?
I actually already had them. I already
You
had them.
did?
Yeah, I already had them. Um, I think I already had them. I can't remember, but it wasn't. It definitely wasn't because of that. But that's hilarious, though.
I bought a pair of J's, like some purple and black ones to match our jersey. That's something I could
Yeah.
had to.
No, y'all jerseys look good too. Like y'all
Yeah,
got some good looking jerseys. Trey's jerseys is good. It's
Goo Gaming has some cool jerseys.
yeah, Goo Gaming has cool jerseys. Like it's cool to see like the positive things or the positive teams in the community. Like I like seeing that.
And agree more. So if you had to say something to someone who was at a point you're at a few years ago where they, aren't getting the results that they want to get, what would you say to that player who's like wanting to get to that level?
Um, I would just say like anybody like you could get good at the game just by putting in like some time. If you really want to be good at it, just focus. Keep an open mind to where you can take like constructive criticism.
Mhm.
Just be ready to spend some time on it. Don't get offended um, with like some critiques or some advice that some guys might give you. And I would say also don't be afraid to like ask questions.
Yeah,
Um,
don't be
like
afraid.
yeah, definitely ask questions, bro. Like you're just trying to
Most
get
people,
as much information as you can.
most people in this community are really just like normal people, very chill, very down to earth, and we like top level players will tell you like theory and stuff if you just ask them.
Yeah, it it is funny that you say that. There is like a certain level of gatekeeping in the community.
A little.
Um, a little bit, but it's kind of like a if you're good at the game or you get good at the game, like those particular groups of people will reach out to you, um, or you'll get access to them. Like the better you do or the better you get, like you'll be able to get access to some of these like groups of people or testing circles and things like that. So um, I think you would just have to like how I did it. I just focused on myself in the beginning to try to get as good as I could on my own, and then I was able to get with different guys and develop friendships with different guys. So you just kind of
Funny.
have to be open minded about the whole thing. You'll meet people like how I met Heisem Honey and
Hmm.
Pack to where um they'll just help elevate your game just by like their knowledge alone, like their experiences and everything. Um you just have to be like genuine with like what you're trying to do.
Sure.
And kind of like show a level of focus that you're really trying to get better at the game. And I think all the rest of the other stuff will just come into play naturally.
Yeah, just with time, practice, dedication, and the desire to get better.
Yeah, yep. I agree.
Not much more to it than that. OJ, I really appreciate you coming on. Um, Thank you so much for spending time with us. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Jay Watkins. Like I said, you want to start following this man's career because in 2024, great things are going to happen from him. I want to thank our sponsor, Dueling Guard. And I would like to ask that everyone join us and follow on Spotify. Check out our TikToks, our YouTube Shorts, and all the other social medias that are involved in the Pop.1 podcast. You can find them in the comment description in our YouTube videos. With that being said, this is Alex with the Pop.1 podcast. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Appreciate y'all.